in Los Angeles from Eastern Kentucky. So we get to be friendly and talking, and Roy's case, and he says, you know, you should go back to Kentucky and see the people. As I finally end up with Roy's Gates, coming to here and getting to know all the horse people around here, and getting involved in the American Saddlebreds, and finding breeding and competing and winning in some place. I won some world championships, and I got all involved because Roy's Gates, you know, and he bargained for everything. He got married. Didn't spend a cent, just bargained. You know. He got his wing. He got his bride's ring by selling his car. I mean, it was wild to see this man operate the way horse people operate. Because horse people, for the most part, people who are involved in training and caring for the horses, they're people who've had to apprentice. So they've been poor for several years before they started making a little bit of money. And so they need money. And some of them don't care how they get it. And it's a you got to watch where you're going in any of the equestrian arts, but saddlebreds particularly because they're so elegant, they go for so much money, and people training them work so hard and work for so long, they think they deserve a little bit more than the going price. But if you're smart about it, you can actually get cheated even more, actually. Anyway, I've had a lifetime of loving experience with my horses and with Elizabeth, who was a trainer, and so her love of horses is there. And we've spent our lives, our adult lives, or maybe a little less than all of our adult lives, for many, many years. I've been involved with horses, trying to do better and better, and had my share of falls, my share of tragedies with them, beloved horses dying, and connecting with the whole world like here that I wouldn't have if I was ensconced in Hollywood and just paying attention there. So other than my career as an entertainer, I've had my life with horses and dogs. So my life now is all about dogs and horses. I mean, I know very few people, really. I mean, I know a lot of people, but like deep friendships, my beloved dogs, my wife, my dogs, my kids, and the horses comprise my life. I don't deal with people very much now. I mean, I'm dealing with you guys, but, you know, and I appreciate you being here. I had a moment, the little girl doesn't know it, and we were taking pictures just now. A little girl with her parents, she must have been 7, 8 years old, clutching her piggy, and they took a picture. And the mother said, this little girl, I've forgotten her name, loves you. And I turned around and said, you love me? And she said, yeah. And I had a moment of an unknown child with adoration in her eyes, clutching her piggy. It was a moment, my heart just went out. This was a really human moment that it's so rare. A strange child comes up and goes, I'll remember it for a while. So that's what's happened with my life, as against being, going to Hollywood parties and knowing all these Hollywood people, which I barely know. I know horse people and spend my time working with horses and dogs. So that was my kind of turgid experience in getting to know Lexington. Next question. Yes, way back there. You, yes.
So according
Nice and loud.
So according to fanboys, William Shatner can get anything. Is that
According to fanboys, William Shatner can get anything? No kidding. Who do I talk to?
That's what you said in the movie.
Well, what is that? That's a statement. Do you want to ask a question or what?
I mean, can you get anything?
Oh, can I get it?
That's still the case.
No. As hard as I've tried. No. Red, over there.
Yeah, me. My name is Jordan Powell. And I'm
Wait a minute.
Korean.
Your name is?
Jordan Powell.
Jordan?
Powell. Powell.
Got it. Okay, Jordan. Jordan, you're wearing overalls?
Yep, I'm Super Mario.
You're what?
Super Mario.
What has Super Mario got to overalls? What got to do with
I
overalls?
came here Super Mario. Well,
Hold on. This is very confusing. You're here to worship at the foot of Super Mario. Wait a minute. Go ahead.
I'm here because of you. I'm a longtime fan of you.
Well, I love that. But where did Super Mario come into the conversation? Wait a minute, somebody's explaining you. Stand up, who's explaining? It's your mother. No, it's your girlfriend. Okay, so hold on. He's wearing overalls because what? He's dressed up like Mario, but he's come to see me. See, that's a union I don't understand.
Anyway,
Wait a minute, laughter. Go ahead.
I also have an equestrian question.
You have a question.
Yeah. About horses.
Okay.
Well, my old art teacher, Kim.
Your old arts teacher
Her name is
said.
Kim Klaus. She said she knew.
Tim Klowski.
Yeah, Kim Klaus. She said her dad knew you.
That a guy by the name of Klaus knew me.
Yeah, and she also loves horses.
Now, Super Mario, you're going further and further afield, which is fine as long as you come back home. Where are you going with this? You got this friend who knows Klaus, who knows me.
You should ask a question.
Yes.
Okay, now bring that all together.
What's your question?
Impossible. Can't bring it
I've
together.
also been fond of horses as well.
You're fond of horses.
Yeah.
What do you like about horses?
That they graze, including the wild stallions.
You love the wild stallions.
Yeah.
I love the wild stallions too. Why do we love the wild stallions? No, don't sit down. No, this is called a conversation.
Oh.
I love the wild stallions too. What do you love about the wild stallions?
They lead in herds and defend each other from wild predators like the wild cougars.
Okay, I was hoping you were going to say because they're wild.
And because they're wild.
Okay, I got you, Super Mario. Thank you so much for your attention. It's good to talk to you. Gentlemen. No, behind the mat. Yeah, you. Perfect.
My name is DJ Phelps.
Is what is it?
DJ.
EJ, got it. What is that? What's EJ stand for?
D is in dog.
Oh, DJ.
Yeah.
Like in dog. And J for like jerk. Got it. What?
D is in dog, J is in jerk.
Right.
My question is,
Your question.
I grew up watching you,
You grew up watching me.
being the pioneer of
A pioneer in every aspect. Gotcha.
all the stars.
Everywhere. I'm a pioneer.
You were bowling the belt where no man has gone.
I have gone where no man has gone before, and it's terrible.
My question is,
Your question.
after
after playing that role,
James Tiberius Kirk,
James Tiberius Kirk, yes.
for all those years. It means
All those years, yes.
What was it like
What was it like
to
to really go up into space? Okay, I get it. Thanks, TJ. Well, I tell you, I've got, you can see that. You can keep standing there, you're to become an obstruction. You've gone from questionnaire to obstructionaire. I've got two answers. I've got one, people go, what is it like in space? What do you say to that? So there's a quick answer. Fantastic. Oh, thank you very much. They leave. Or, there was a very profound experience that I had going into space. And it involves me being, I could say I was an ecologist for many years. I've been fascinated by the way the world works, physically, chemically, and the way the universe, the little we know. I've been fascinated by that information. It's so much larger and so much more mysterious than we can encompass. But watching, because of the wild stallions and what they represent, which is the wildness, and I had a piece of land here, and I tried having a stallion in amongst a herd of mares, so that in nature, the stallion fertilizes, connects with the mare when the mare is ready to have a baby. So there's a scent given off, and he fertilizes the mare. So I took a lot of mares who couldn't get pregnant, and then I had read and seen some of this stuff, and I had a really good stallion among a herd of saddlebred mares who couldn't get pregnant. And every one of them got pregnant because it was in nature. Because nature took care of it. Because nature made the stallion go up and flirt with the mare, and the mare got, kick him away, and then the days would pass and she would get ready to be bred, and it was the way nature was supposed to work. And I became fascinated by that. I mean, the way nature takes care of everything, of our birth, our life, and our death, and everything else on Earth, whether it's a plant or a microbe or a human being. The fascination of what we're surrounded by. Like driving here from our place to the center here. The buds are on the trees now. You can see the little pimples of leaves. They're just beginning. And you can see through the trees, you can see the babies that have dropped already, where the trees would have hidden the farms along the road. You can see them now. So you can see the babies, you can see the buds, and life is beginning as spring begins, and the rain is gone. I mean, it's all so magical. And a lady by the name of Silent Spring. What's her name?
Rachel Carlson.
Rachel Carlson. Rachel Carlson. Yes, that's right. Rachel Carlson wrote a book about 60 years ago called Silent Spring, in which she outlined what was happening to the earth. And I read it thoroughly, and I was surprised I couldn't remember her name, and took it to heart and could see all these things and joined causes. For example, a organization called Greenpeace got organized, and they asked me to be part of it. And they showed me some film of the beginning of Greenpeace. Greenpeace started in Canada. The St. Lawrence River is a major waterway in Canada, and it freezes over during the winter. So there is iced over in the early spring. And in the early spring, the seals come to the ice floe and have their babies on the ice floe, and then as the ice melts, the babies and the seals go into the water, and then they disperse to wherever they're going. So there's all these vulnerable baby seals born in the early spring. People come to hunt them for their skins, for the seal skins. And they don't shoot them, they hit them on the head. So it's a bloody mess that in Canada every season, the Canadians say, oh no, my God, we can't do that. Greenpeace went, two guys who begat Greenpeace, went onto the ice floe. And in order to get to the seals, the people who were doing the hunting would hire a icebreaker, big Norwegian icebreaker. And then icebreakers are built of steel, and they run up on the ice, and with the weight of the ship, break down some of the ice. They run up again, and they keep running, and they break the ice up in that incredible, brutal fashion, in order to get the hunters able to get to the newborn seals. These two guys, the icebreaker was 100 yards there. Those of you, I've studied karate and the martial arts a little bit. There's something about anchoring to the ground, where you stand anchored to the ground. These two guys stood anchored to the ice in karate. They were part of the strength, and they held hands, and they were standing in the way of the icebreaker. Totally, there was no give. When a karate master is dealing with an opponent, the focus is ironclad. There's nothing else there but the twitch of a motion, because he's totally tuned in. These two guys were totally tuned in. They were not going to get off. They were standing in the way of that boat until, and this is on camera, so I don't know where the camera was, until one of them in the doubt that entered into one of their heads went like that to see where the boat was. Gave himself away. There was a weakness there. Now they stopped the boat because the other guy didn't move. They stopped the boat and began a campaign to save those seals, which begat Greenpeace, which begat the Great Shepherd, which has been totally involved in stopping whale hunting. Only a couple of countries hunt whales now, and whales are making a comeback. Whales are the source of, maybe the total source of life in the ocean, because they eat vast amounts of krill and they defecate. And that shit goes somewhere. So you kill a whale. Can you hear me? There. Oh, better. You kill a whale, you're killing the earth in a way, because everything we have comes from the ocean. So there's this incredible connection in nature that doesn't appear to us. Killing a whale means we're going to starve? I mean, what is it? Yes. In this vague, unobservable cycle of life, that's what's happening to this intricate, beautiful, incredible thing we call planet Earth. That's happening. Now, whether some people say it's not, I don't know why they say it's not. I don't know why. There are some people here that say that global warming is a hoax. It's bizarre. It's like saying this bottle doesn't exist. There's no bottle in front of me. I don't see a bottle. There's no bottle. It's happening. And I became a spokesperson for all these causes, and vague causes. Like somebody called me from British Columbia. Somebody in the government of British Columbia said the salmon, the wild salmon. I was shooting up in British Columbia some years ago. Elizabeth and I were there, and we got a lecture on farm salmon and wild salmon. So apparently, some of the people in the British Columbia government went to the fishermen fishing in the wild rivers of this vast piece of land called British Columbia, and said, listen guys, where do you fish? Because we're bringing Norwegian fish farms into Canada, and we want to know where not to put them. We don't want to get in your way. So the guy, well, I got it in this part of the river, and the guy, I'm that there, I'm in that river, I'm there, and they got all the spots the fishermen went to, and of course, as you would expect, that's where they planted their fish farms. Now, fish farming, they feed the little fish grain and stuff, and it's all saturated with antibiotics, and the fish get, because they're so close together, get diseased, and every so often, one of these, I think they're smelts, I think they call, maybe not, baby salmon leap out, escape, and infect the wild salmon. And the wild salmon dropped, the production of wild salmon dropped 90% while these fish farms were there. Giving you, and now that's been fixed, but I helped as much as I can. What I'm trying to tell you is that I'm involved so much in my own mind with the incredible connection that Earth is built on, from insects to us. It's an incredibly beautiful cycle of regeneration. I'm up in space, and I look at this blue orb, and I felt a deep sadness. I didn't understand what it was. I landed, and I started crying. I was bawling. And all these cameras are on me, and I'm wondering, what the heck is the matter with you? I got to stop crying because Jeff Bezos, I don't know, the third richest man in the world, who sent the rocket up, is interviewing. Bill, man, I don't know what I'm crying about. Oh, thank you, Jeff, for sending me that. I go and sit down, and I realize that I'm in this deep state of grief. I'm crying because I saw more clearly than ever the state of our world, how things are disappearing, how the whole skein of nature is being interfered with, and how little is being done about it. And that's what caused my grief and my tears. And I feel that way, and I remember saying, don't let me forget how I feel right now. And I feel so deeply right now telling you this story. I feel again those budding trees and those baby colts and that little child, they're all connected. And they're all going to die unless we do something about it. That's what I'm feeling. Does that answer your question? Thank you. Good. Out there. Yes. Hi. No. Come up here. Well, you need to talk to an astrophysicist. Come over here. No, right in front of me here. Are you really an astrophysicist?
Yes.
Which university are you at?
The American Military University.
The American Military University. And turn around and face the audience a little bit so they can hear you. What do you do as an astrophysicist at the American University?
I track asteroids in space, and we're helping out NASA because Congress has charged them with finding 90% of what's called NEOs, which are near-Earth objects, which could be asteroids that could collide with Earth. And we got to find all those. So, in a very tiny way, I'm helping protect you.
You know, that isn't a tiny way. Tell them briefly of that, I can never remember how to pronounce it, Lexington, the one that the asteroid that hit the Yucatan Peninsula and destroyed 90% of the world.
Yeah, that's called Chicxulub.
Chicxulub, not Mexilub. Okay. A Chicxulub is what I got to do to my car. Tell them briefly about that.
Chicxulub was
60 million years ago.
an asteroid which is between 6 to 10 kilometers across. It smacked into the Yucatan Peninsula and is it wiped out the dinosaurs, and that wasn't the only species that was wiped out in that, but it wiped out a lot of different species by spreading a lot of debris up in the air. It blocked out the sun, and that cut off the power source. See, the sun is our power source here on Earth, and you block it out while there's dust in the atmosphere, then that starts to kill off.
For wildfires, water, tsunami, hundreds of feet high wave caused the destruction of 90% of life on Earth. So that's what you're looking for. That's incredible. Now, the question has always been, to me, is, and I vaguely know what you're going to say, where are these rocks and stones and things coming from? There is a belt around the solar system of rocks. And are they coming from there, do you think? No. That's how little I know, okay?
The ones that are threatening us well, the ones that are threatening us, they're like hanging around Earth, and they can cross Earth's orbit. Do they come from the asteroid belt? Maybe originally, long, long ago, they could have possibly been out there, and then they got knocked inward because they had a close encounter with Jupiter or something, and that knocked them inward. But people don't understand that an asteroid does not stay in the same orbit all the time. It's in an orbit, but it can get perturbed if it gets close to a planet. Even if it doesn't, it's always being perturbed, especially by Jupiter, because it's powerful.
That sounds like me. I'm always being perturbed. You're beginning to perturb me. I got it. So you're looking for, now there's one coming this way in about 7-8 years, and it's going to miss us by a little bit. But gravitation, which we don't know what it is, right? We have no idea what gravity. We know what it does. We don't know what it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
No. Do we know? We can't pretty much not know, because that means we much know. No, we can see the effect of gravity, but we don't know what it is. All right, we know that photons from the sun are affected by gravity.
Yes.
Why did you go, yes? Is that a new thought?
General relativity. You got to get to general relativity because a photon doesn't have any mass. And so, according to classical gravity, gravity shouldn't have any effect on a photon.
Okay, so wait a minute. You understand? The photon doesn't have any mass, but it's also a wave as well as a particle. I don't understand what I've just said. I just know what I've said. So the whole magic, what we're talking about, it's good. I'm glad you're here. What's your name again?
Jeremy.
Jeremy Wood? Yeah, what would you do, Jeremy? What would you do? That's Jeremy Wood. Okay, just trying to be funny, Jeremy. My vain attempts at being amusing and you fail sometimes like that. But a photon of light, maybe light, this is light, right? This bulb is light, it's a photon. So a photon of light is the most magical thing around. It is and it isn't. There's a thing called a photon experiment, split screen. And they fire a photon at this split, and the photon can choose to go to the right or go to the left. It has a mind of its own. And they prove it because there's, on the back, it shows you where the photon hits, and it goes there, and it goes there. And check me on this, they've made a discovery that at the head of the photon is something that seems to make the choice. And since it arrives before the photon does, instantaneously, that could predate the future. There could be the future at the head of the photon. You're nodding your head, and it's possible.
It's like the photon has a mind of its own.
The photon has a mind of its own.
It's weird.
It's weird. As Einstein said, It's spooky out there. Thank you so much. No, what is your question? It better be good because you've done so well so far.
I wanted to know if you had seen pictures from the James Webb Space Telescope. And if you,
James Webb Telescope.
yes, if you've seen either pictures, what did you think of them and what do you think about
Thank
them?
you. James Webb Telescope. How am I doing for time? Yeah, okay, good. James Webb Telescope. Now, here's an example of science fiction. There is like in an eddy of water, or the current, sometimes that current will reverse on itself. And there's a spot where the current, usually right by the shore, where the Native Americans, when they were paddling upstream, would go to try and find those eddies and that current that on the shore was either not flowing as fast or reversing, so they could paddle upstream more easily. Well, apparently that exists in space with gravitational forces. The gravitational forces are like electrical energy, and it is stronger here, less here. Our scientists have found where it's less. It's called Lagrange or Grange? Mr. Wood. Lagrange or Grange? It's called Lagrange, and it's an eddy of gravitational forces where they place the Webb telescope so it doesn't use as much energy to stay in orbit as it would if it were next to something where it was going around, and we didn't want it to. It stays located in space, and it takes pictures of space now, reaching further and further back than we ever have before. You know, I've got so many questions for you as a scientist. Like, I know that when we get those pictures of the Webb telescope, and the universe is supposed to be at something like 13.8 billion years old, okay? So we're getting a photon that's 13.8 billion years old. But what's that galaxy, because that's where I think the light is coming from, what's that been doing for 13.8 billion years while the light is coming this way? That thing is another 13.8 billion years older, and we don't know about it. So that's how little we know. We know nothing. The exploration of space, propelled by science fiction, is incredible. What is in our little heads for the 70 years average that we're alive? I've beaten the average. Bless you. But in our little skulls is the question of what is that? What's that? It's so bizarre. Our universe is expanding. It should be contracting. The forces of gravity should be contracting the universe. Big Bang, boom, it explodes, and now it comes back. Like all the stars do. They explode, and then they come back, and there's something else. The amount of energy remains the same, it just changes form. Where does that galaxy, that 13.8 billion year old galaxy, where is it now? The universe was like, okay, we know the universe is a big container, 13 light years, which is unimaginable. But it's further, it's more than that. There's such a question mark of everything. Everything is called into question. Everything in space and everything in our lives and everything on Earth is a question mark. And we should be questioning it and marveling at it. And too often we don't. Is that good, Mr. Wood? Thank you. Next question. Okay, way back there in the green. Is it green? It's black. Yeah.
Hi,
Nice and loud.
I'm Christopher Andrew Caldwell.
Christopher, good to meet you, Christopher. This is our group. This is class number 5.
Many years ago, I only other Trek convention that I ever went to, and it was like 1977, I think.
This is your second Star Trek convention?
I apologize. and for some reason, I wasn't able to see you there. I don't know if you did.
You didn't see me there.
I was only like 6 or 7 at the time, so I don't
I
know.
saw you. You don't know.
Thank you. My question is, in your lifetime,
In my lifetime,
within your role as James T.
and as James T. Kirk, yeah.
What singular moment stands
What singular moment
stands out most to you as your personal favorite moment?
stands up as my personal favorite moment? You know, there was this great looking blonde girl that I missed. It was a singular moment of ecstasy. Well, you know, when you can sit down, sir. Thank you. Star Trek, the birth, if you will, of Star Trek in itself is kind of magical. Gene Roddenberry did a pilot, which is an hour sample. We got to make an hour of the show we want to produce and show it to the network, and based on that sample, they'll decide whether they're going to order a number of shows. That's what a pilot is. So NBC gave Paramount an amount of money to make a pilot of this wonderful idea that Gene Roddenberry sold them, called the Western Wagon Train. Will you join me everywhere I go? Wagon Train to the Stars. So there was this popular series on the air called Wagon Train, and they were going west. So this was Wagon Train to the Stars, was the way it was reduced. And they sold that idea to NBC, and NBC said, well, here's several $1 million, and make a pilot, show us what you're going to do. So they got a nice script written, and they hired Jeffrey Hunter, popular actor at the time. He was Captain Pike. Oh, you all know that. He was Captain Pike. Like there's a Pike's Road. Somebody just told me the address on Pike's. Anyway. So they made the pilot, and NBC took a look at the pilot, said we don't like it, and but said somebody at NBC, it's sufficiently interesting that for the first time, and I'm saying this from my point of view, I've never heard of it before or since. Here's another several $1 million. Go make a second pilot, but recast it. Everybody, except for Leonard Nimoy as Spock. Yes, that's what he said too. So they made they started to gather up to make a second pilot, and I was in New York doing something or other, and they called me and they said, "Would you come with to Los Angeles with the idea of playing the lead in this series, and we could show you the pilot, the kind of pilot we wanted." So I came to Los Angeles, and they showed me the screen, the pilot. Oh, that's really good. And I saw what interested NBC, and I thought it was good enough to produce, but they didn't. So they asked me what I thought, and I said, you know, if I was on a 5-year mission and I had to say turn left to the guy who's steering the ship, would I say, Mr. Coxswain, prepare to turn starboard? I said, you know, George, turn left is what, less pomposity, more humor, less, you know. And they said, all right. And so they did that, they did a few more things, and the pilot sold. Now, in the intervening time, before that decision was made, a great American poet wrote a play for me, and that play was premiered at Salt Lake City, at the University of Utah. world premiere, on its way to Broadway. So I'm on my way to Broadway with a beautiful play written by Norman Corwin, name of a great playwright who did a lot of radio, so you wouldn't know his name, but a great man. He's now dead. And he wrote a play for me, and it was beautiful. And we're on our way to Broadway, and I get a phone call. Star Trek is sold. Oh, gee. I'm on my way. I've been on Broadway. I've had some really big success. 2 years in a play, a year in another play. And that's how I'm on Broadway. I'm a Broadway actor now. And this play is going to knock him dead. And I got this pilot. I got it with a pilot. I got the play and the pilot. And I don't have any choice. I got to do the pilot. I got to do the... So I end up somewhat reluctantly, although doing a play a week, doing eight performances a week on Broadway can get tiresome after a while. And being in a movie can be tiresome because you wait sometimes days to get one shot. And being in a series is like running the 100-yard dash for a mile. Every one of them has something good and something bad. So somewhat apprehensively, I went to do Star Trek, and this is where we are with Star Trek. So the making of the Star Trek and the selling of Star Trek in itself was like, that's why we're here. Thank you so much, everybody. A pleasure being here.